This episode is brought to you by marketing consulting firm The Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing, LLC, where creativity meets business. You can check us out at www.theblm.com for more information on how we help local artists and creatives maximize their business presence. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast. All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Hey. Welcome. This is the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Like we said in the jingle.
We have your host.
This is Kristen, aka KayBee. I'm here hosting.
First episode.
Episode 1.
Yeah. My name is Mark, aka Metapoetic Bennett.
Right. My last name is Bennett too. I didn't say that. But
No, she
yes.
did not. She is my wife.
He's the hubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to start this off, we want to introduce our segment. You might have caught it in the snippet.
Snippet.
And it's called Love It or Lose It with Mark and Kay.
Okay, cool. We're going to go with that. Sounds lovely.
Try and work it out.
Right. This is episode 1, people. Just, bear with us. Work with us.
We're going to figure this out.
Yes, we are. Okay, so I have been tasked with deciding on a topic for Love It or List It. That's it, Love It or List It. Love It or Lose It.
Yes.
Love It or List It is a wonderful show, by the way, that people should check out.
Yes,
wonderful show. But for the Love It or Lose It topic this week, I decided to choose seasons. Fall, winter, spring, summer. We're in the midst of, what is this now? Spring, April showers, May flowers, so on and so forth. So it made me think, which of the 3 seasons, or which season would I absolutely positively keep, and which one would I throw away forever? Like, notwithstanding like issues with the environment, global warming, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's where we are.
Okay. We live in New York, which has like 8
all
seasons.
4. Well, yes, I was going to say all 4, but it has several seasons, So,
But we will talk about the 4.
Yes, the 4 that we all universally agree on: fall, winter, summer, spring. Yes.
I am just trying to delay because I'm trying to figure out how to answer this question.
So do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. We'll do lose it first. Yes?
Sure.
Okay. What I can lose, honestly, is spring. Spring can get out of here because allergies, rain.
Facts.
Like, I get it. Flowers, all that stuff, all that jazz. Cool. Spring for my health, my allergy-filled life can get out of here. I have no time. I have no time for spring. That can get out of here. I'm completely over spring.
Okay.
You lose it. What are you gonna lose?
My lose it. It's a toss-up. Can I lose 2?
No, because there's 4 seasons.
But here's the thing. Hear me out.
Where is the rest of the year?
It doesn't matter. Just listen to what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So
that's right.
I am with you on spring. Spring has got to go. Like you said, allergies. See, I'm from Barbados. I grew up in a place where trees everywhere. Several. Plants, grass, you name it. Never had a problem. I come here, spring comes upon me. Suddenly one year, I got the allergies.
Yeah.
I can't keep my eyes open because they itch. My whole head area itches, and I'm sneezing and coughing, and it's just a very, very unpleasant situation for me. Shockingly, this spring, I'm gonna keep it positive. This spring, I have not had to take my daily Claritin / Allegra, whatever. So I'm going to keep it pushing with that. But speaking of which, that's my other problem with spring. I can't take the same medicine from spring to spring. If I take Allegra this spring, it's like, well, all right, that's that on that. I got to come back and try Claritin or Zyrtec next spring. I can't keep a consistent thing. And it's just that's no way to live, in my opinion, where I'm just I don't know how I'm going to make it. I just need to keep trying these drugs that keep me from losing my mind throughout the day with the coughing and the sneezing and blah, blah, blah.
I was actually, before you continue, I was actually saying my seasons that I'm choosing, it's specifically because I'm in New York.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm in New York is why these seasons make sense. Like spring in New York
Basura.
is trash.
Basura.
If I was somewhere else, it might be a different place. But right now, in New York,
it's a hold up.
You can go.
Yeah, I also don't like the up and down with the weather. Like one day I got to wear my heavy coat, then the next day I'm not wearing no coat. Like, for example, today I was outside. You know what I had on? A dress. A dress, essentially. No, I didn't need no heavy scarf. I didn't need no hat. Da 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 da. This was at like 10:30 in the morning. Now, in the evening, I have a coat on and a real scarf, and it's cold. It gets confusing. I always get sick because I'm like, I'm hot in the morning, cold in the afternoon, or I'm cold early in the morning, then I'm hot midday, then I'm cold again. Like, okay. We just need to pick like a temperature consistently and just rock with that for the day because I don't know how to dress. I get confused. I don't like it. Because I watch the news and I'm like, okay, so it's gonna be 60 today. So I'm like, do I take my coat for like now, or do like
or like later,
or like later? Like, what do I do? Like, it's very distressing. It's very confusing. And then it's like when you go into your office building, if you work in a building, they don't know what's going on either. Sometimes they still got the heat going, so you hot. So you got to take something off, and it's like, well, maybe I didn't dress in layers today. So it's like, okay, well, all right, let's see where we at. Or they have the AC on before it's supposed to really be on. So now you're sitting at work with the AC blowing above your head and your heater going under your desk. Like spring just creates a lot of confusion on a lot of fronts, and I'm not able.
Which is why I said the worst. I don't understand which season equals that.
Right.
That's trash.
No. Like, listen,
You've given about 35 excuses why it's trash, and I don't think whatever your next choice is measures up to 35
Well,
reasons.
Here's the thing. My number one choice is definitely spring. We can throw that away. 1A is winter. Let me tell you why.
I like winter, honestly.
I don't like being cold like that. I don't like having to put on like an undershirt and then a sweater and then my bubble coat and then my hat and then my glove. Like, it is just too much to put on. Like, I'm hot just like getting off the train and like walking to my job. Like, also, it might just be me because I'm a sweater. It doesn't take much for me to break out into a sweat. So it's like, by the time I like put my coat on, make my way to the train, get on the train, get off the train at my stop, walk up the steps, walk to my building 2 blocks, like, I'm very likely to have broken out in a sweat by that point because I'm wearing that much clothing items. And so that's another thing that gets me stressed too, because I'm like, I'll be hot, so I'll take like my hat off or something outside because I'm sweating, but the air is cold. So then it's like this cold air on my hot, sweaty like forehead or head or whatever the case is. So I'm just like, I can't. It's also very confusing. I can't take it. Like, like if I had to make a choice between winter or spring, where I had to absolutely keep one, I'd choose winter every time. But like, yeah, it's just. I guess the way my body chemistry is set up, like winter doesn't really vibe with me either.
Like, if you're gonna pick 2, you might as well just I guess we'll eventually get to the point of just rating all 4.
Right.
But like, stay with those 2 for now.
Okay, that's where we are.
So I guess I'll do my 1A. I was trying to figure it out. So in 4th place for me is spring.
Okay.
3rd place for me is actually summer.
Interesting.
Because I realize in my mind, there's not enough clothes to take off. There are never enough clothes to take off. And I sweat.
Facts.
I sweat.
Same.
So they're like, especially when you're at work and you work in the office and you got to dress up. So yeah, there's never enough clothes to take off.
Yeah.
So that's me in summer. So like my 1A. So it's number 4, spring. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is summer. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll do the 2 and 1, and we'll go to your 2 and 1.
Okay.
My number 2 is winter.
Okay. Tell me more.
Number 2 is winter, because I even though it's cold, I feel like I can always put enough layers on and be cool.
Gotcha.
It can be cold, but I'm like, I can put layers on and I'm good. Like, I enjoy the winter.
Enjoy. How strong?
That's fine.
Why? I'm like, that's a strong use of words there. Okay.
I do. I enjoy winter. Winter is cool.
It's quite cool. It's cold, actually. Ice cold.
I think I enjoy thermals a lot.
Yes, you do. You do certainly enjoy those.
So I think a lot of times when we think about seasons, we think about what we're wearing, and I think I enjoy wearing thermals.
Gotcha.
And thermals don't work any other season.
Also that. Yes, that's correct. Correct.
I enjoy wearing layers.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. That's
so
correct.
I think because of I'm wearing a sweater right now, as you see, with like something under it. So like I enjoy wearing layers. So winter is always my go-to.
Because you're a New Yorker, son. You're a New Yorker.
Yes. So that's why it's always my go-to.
Should I have said New Yorker like that or New Yorker?
You keep saying it.
I'm trying to figure out the correct Long Island way. Because there's like a 5 boroughs way and then there's like a Long Island way. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm saying it the right way.
I'm trying to make sure you're not shading me. I'm trying to make sure.
Oh, why would you think that?
I'm trying to make sure you're not. And
Shading?
I don't know if you are.
Shading?
And I think it's disrespectful.
I don't see it.
Disrespectful.
I don't see it. So let's get back on topic. Let's not get distracted.
Great.
Let's refocus.
But like I like wearing layers. October is cool because like
best month ever.
October is cool because it's like I can it's like I can wear layers without like for the days when it's really freezing. I don't have to worry about that. When it's days really freezing, I don't have to worry about those extra freezing days.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say fall, it's like not the big like this is like October, November fall, not right after summer ends because it's really still kind of warm.
Yeah. It's still summer light.
Yeah. So like October, November, that fall is cool with me.
Okay.
Cause I want the temperature where I can wear sweaters without a jacket. That is the temperature I want.
I'm with it.
I can wear a sweater without a jacket. That is the ideal temperature for me.
Yeah.
That isn't spring.
Gotcha. See, did you say your number one?
Yes, October.
October.
It's not fall. Not October.
Fall. Okay.
It's
so
fall.
Yeah, so I think if we're ranking them, then 4 is spring for me. 3
You said is winter.
Is winter. Summer is 2.
Okay.
Summer is 2 simply because it's too hot here in the United States of America, or maybe just like New York. Because see, whenever I say like I don't like summer, it's too hot. People are like, but you from Barbados, you from the islands. See, the difference is sis and bro.
That's fine.
In Barbados is an island. What does an island mean? Water all around. So yes, it's hot. Valid. Last time we went to Barbados, I was going through it. But however, sea breeze from the water hits one's body as one walks around the island. Thusly, one is cooled down by the sea breeze. God did not provide said sea breeze for New York. So I be dying in the summer. Like, and like I said before, I'm a sweater. So it's like I leave the house. By the time I get to the train, I'm already in sweat. Like already. I already feel like I need to take another shower.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I'm also allergic to the sun. So
since you came to America.
Since I came to America. Y'all might want to check that out, guys. Allergic to the sun. When the dermatologist said that, I was like, huh? The sun? Yeah. But yeah,
you was cool with the sun most of your life.
But then the sun turned its back on me here, apparently.
Which I think I told you before, is like it has to do with the ozone layer, because you can't just have them direct rays. Like there's no coverage. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Like New York has decided to kill the whole ozone layer.
Yeah, I mean,
with all the pollution and everything. So you getting direct sun. You getting like immediate sun from you.
Right. Like
that's why allergies are different up here. Like
factory.
I can't. Like allergies are terrible up here. I go down to Georgia with my sister. I am cool. I'm not
living
wheezing.
my best life.
I'm not wheezing. I'm not doing nothing.
I ain't going back and forth with these allergies. Living my best life.
It's fine. So
the song wasn't appropriate in that moment? Okay.
That's
all right.
fine.
Anyway, yes. So like the summer's not my favorite because like if I'm out in the sun for too long of a time, I start to get like these like rashes on my like body that's exposed to the sun for a lengthy period of time, regardless of whether I wear sunscreen or not. And those rashes will stay on my body all summer long. Like literally they won't go away till fall. So I just spend the whole summer with these like random patches.
You gotta get that shea butter in.
All over me. The shea butter do be helping. But the funny thing is, I noticed when we went to Barbados last year, you know who didn't have patches on their skin? Me. You want to know why? Because something's wrong with the sun in New York. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying y'all got to figure out what's happening with y'all's sun that my skin don't be looking its golden best. Number one season for me, fall. Why do I enjoy fall? Why do I enjoy fall?
Which is the word? That is the word.
I was talking really fast and it got jumbled. Gosh.
That is the word.
It happens. So the reason I really enjoy fall, especially the period that you were talking about with like late September, early October, even into November, is that I can get away with like just wearing like a sweater and some pants. And I love me a boot. Okay. Mm-hmm. I love me a boot. Those are my favorite shoes to wear. Random sidebar. But I love boots. And so I just be waiting. Mm-hmm. A, because they're cute. B, because I don't have to do my pedicure like that no more. Word. I can just have my toes out here looking, respectable or whatever. But I don't have to be down to the salon on an every 2 week, every month basis. I also like fall clothes in general. Like I like ponchos and I like, heavier sweaters and I like capes and like just like light cover types of outfits like that you can get away with in the fall, that you can't really do in the winter because you can't really wear a poncho in the winter underneath like a heavy like down jacket, like you just look nuts. So it's just like the way I like to wear clothes with like blazers and little cute things like that. Fall is more amenable. Also, the temperature is just more suitable to my like body makeup and so on. Therefore, fall's number one for me. You guys can email us and let us know what you think about that. Other people may have different opinions. However, I will judge you if you say that like winter's your favorite because what's wrong with you?
Now, winter is cool though.
Nah.
Winter's like I vibe with winter.
That's fine.
If you say spring's your favorite, you need to be a gardener.
Not a gardener, Jesus. No.
You need to have a garden in your backyard.
I mean, listen, you know what?
You have a garden in your backyard?
I recant my original no. You know what? If you about that spring life, you need to be out here planting.
If you have a garden in your backyard, then yeah, I got you.
Right. Otherwise,
it's better for your plants.
Otherwise, I don't get it.
If you don't have no allergies in your family, cool. I get it.
Oh, what a concept.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't relate. Yeah, so that was basically our take on Love It or Lose It for this week.
Love it or lose it.
Indeed. If you have anything you would like us to discuss for this Love It or Lose It segment, you can email us at alllovenofearpcast@gmail.com and we will be happy to discuss it in a future podcast.
Word.
Yes, indeed. So we've come to the time where we talk a little bit about us as people so y'all can know a little bit more about our business and whatnot.
Word.
So, where are we going with this? How far we want to go?
So, we just wanted for the first episode to kind of just introduce who we are.
Introduce yourself. Sorry.
Word. So
I make up songs for moments based on words and things.
All the time.
It's a singer struggle.
Which is cool.
Singers get it. They relate.
So we're going to talk about, I guess, who we are individually, and then also who we are as a couple, because those kind of sometimes they intersect, sometimes they don't.
Correct.
So I'll start with you because you're the host.
That's a trick.
I'm just the co-host / engineer.
That's fine.
So it is on you first.
All right. So should I start with myself individually or?
Individually, yes.
All right. So hey guys, I'm Kristen, also known as KayBee because that stands for my initials, Kristen Bennett. Makes total sense. I'm in my 30s, early 30s. I'm an Aquarius. Best sign ever. Don't debate me, bro. Team Aquarius for life.
Definitely be debates at all times.
There are no debates. I don't know what anyone's talking about. I'm also a February Aquarius, so let's be clear. There are levels to this. February Aquarius.
That's fine.
Let's be clear. What else? Like I said before, I grew up in Barbados. came here when I was a teenager at 16, I believe. So I'm kind of half Bayesian, half American. I claim Barbados heavy. Like if you follow me on social media or anything like that, November 30th, 1966 is when Barbados became an independent country from the colonizer, the United Kingdom.
That's right.
Don't scare me like that, colonizer. So, yeah, every November 30th, I have the Barbados flag and other Barbados accoutrements on my social media because that's where we're at. However, my dad and them is from Trinidad. So I guess I'm Trini too. However, I don't know a lot about that, so I don't really claim it like that, but, shouts out to all the islands. It's lit. Barbados is number one. Those are the facts. What else about me? College graduate. I like a lot of things. I like literature. English was my major in college. And I got a master's in English for fun, which sounds insane, but, it was a fun time. Except for that poetry class that Mark made me take. But we're going to talk about that later. Bane of my existence. What else? I currently work... Mark. I currently work in the higher education field at a community college. I've been doing that for about 7 years, and I'm, really loving it. Like, making an impact on people's lives and so on. Outside of professional educational things, I like talking. That's why I'm potting. I sing as well. Pretty good at that. Toot toot.
Yes, please toot your own horn.
No, I'm not a horn tooter, but I just felt like for the podcast and for posterity, let's toot a little. What else? I like I'm a little nerdy, so like I enjoy watching, like documentaries a lot. Cuz I'm very nosy, and not like in an intrusive like I want to know everything kind of way, but it's just like there's a lot of things that I feel like I don't know enough about, and so I'm very easily like caught up in like a documentary about like like there was something I was watching about Scientology with Leah Remini. She has a thing on A&E. Like I don't know much about them, so like I just got caught up in watching episodes of that, and it's like fascinating. I'm also into movies and TV and stuff like that. I watch a lot of TV, or at least I attempt to watch a lot of TV. I mostly spend my time on the TLC channel, on what's that other channel with the one with Property Brothers, HGTV, and OWN, because the Yana Fix My Life is a vibe. Y'all need to get into it if you don't already know about it. That's basically the channels my TV stays on. I've come a long way because I used to spend a lot of time on VH1 watching Love and Hip Hop, and I'm just not able to watch those shows anymore like that. Like I can't do it. I just can't. It's just like guys. I may have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. These storylines are fraudulent. Stop it now. I can see it. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. I don't know. I just think I'm just a regular schmegular girl from Barbados / Queens / Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn, so I've been told I should claim it, but yeah, that's pretty much it about me. I don't know. Is there anything else that I should be adding?
And you are the co-owner.
Oh, yes. Plug for the business. I'm the co-owner of business owned by myself and my husband, called the Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing LLC. We do all types of marketing management for primarily people who are considered creatives. So, and creatives is like a strange word, but creatives, i.e., because everybody creative these days.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means what you think it means, but yeah, people that are into the arts and, want to sort of get out of the box that they're in and move forward in terms of like building their business practice skills and building their presence outside of like the community of artists that exists everywhere where artists are. And so we try to help people sort of navigate through that. My husband, he's going to talk about himself very soon, but he's very talented with the graphic design and, website design and all that jazz. But yeah. And final thing about myself, I'm a mom. My kid's amazing.
She is the greatest.
Greatest kid ever.
She is the greatest child in life.
No shade to all y'all other kids. I'm sure they cool.
I know you have kids.
And that's cool.
But they're not better than my daughter.
They're not. That's hashtag facts.
That's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes. If you follow us on the socials, you've seen her. She's quite cute. She's going to be 18 months soon. And she's just, super smart, super cute.
Word.
Just best kid ever. Love her.
Greatest.
Wouldn't trade her for the world. Greatest.
All right. So, hello.
I was going to use the R. Kelly lyric there, but then I was like, we got to cancel that whole situation.
Trash.
Because I was going to be like, world's greatest. And I was like,
no.
We
will
not.
We will not.
Pause that. All right. So you can carry on.
Great. My name is Mark Bennett. I grew up in Westbury, Long Island. I went to Westbury High School. Mm-hmm. And then from Westbury High School, I went to Hampton University, the number one HBCU of all times.
And according to them, the real HU.
Yes, the real HU. We have been number one for a long time. In my humble opinion.
Humble in air quotes, people.
All right. But this is why I always speak about that HBCUs, we go back and forth and everything. But if you come to me from your PWI trying to say anything, I will shut you down immediately. You have no talk in this matter.
Okay, so I went to a PWI. Shout out to Hofstra University. And I will shade you all till the death of me. Fight me.
Yeah. PWI is trash. So
rude.
So I went to Hampton University. I currently a lot of things. All right. So I currently am
He's Jamaican, he got mad jobs.
The program director. He not
really Jamaican. Sorry.
I work at the EOC, which is called the Economic Opportunity Commission of Nassau County. I am a program director for a program called the Displaced Homemakers Program, which is a job training program. I also direct and teach at that level. I'm also the director of marketing for the same agency. I also am co-owner of the Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing. I drive Uber also because bills have to be paid.
They not cheap.
No, not at all. I've been doing graphic design since I'll say 08. And it's mostly been real life working things out, and hopefully if you like any business cards, flyers, websites, press kits, anything to do with marketing, just let me know and I will help you out. Honestly, a big thing I realize about me is I always say I've been around black. When I say black, I mean African, West Indian, African American. My whole life, it's been like a constant call. I've been like growing up. Most of the people in my class or my school have always been black. Then I went to HBCU. Then even the job I had at one point, like it was very few white people when I first got out of college, and then the workplace I work in now is mostly black and Hispanic. So it's just my interactions with white people have always been very short and small. And in between, I used to always say my knowledge of white people have been what you see on TV because I had no actual interaction with many.
Incredible.
Yeah, which is always interesting, in the dynamic. So I always talk about in terms of HBCUs and like the mindset that I had with that, going through that and doing that has always been different in terms of like I've seen like so many different flavors of all forms of minorities that I never understood when people try to put us in a box when there's so many different flavors. So I'm also a Christian. I'm an activist. I am a spoken word artist. I am a poet. I am a dancer. I am. What else am I?
Very handsome.
All right.
Wow, I'm wilding. Okay.
I tend to try to fight for human rights across the board. I am a big hip hop head. Very big on hip hop. What else?
I don't know.
Anything else? I don't think I can think of anything else. So that's our introduction. Us married. We've been married will be 5 years this October.
Yes, that's correct.
We married to 5 years this year. We doing this podcast because we have different takes on different things. We fall a lot of times. People are confused by our dynamic with certain things. Mm-hmm. They're confused with how we interact sometimes. They're confused by how we operate because we don't subscribe to anything. A lot of things traditional. We subscribe to what works.
Right. Facts.
And that kind of plays into our topic today, which you want to introduce it or I want to?
Yes.
Okay.
So the topic we chose to start with today as a married couple is about marriage roles. There are very many traditional sort of marriage roles that people kind of envision and think of when they think of a married couple. And I don't think that we always subscribe to those norms or roles within our marriage. And this is not to say that those traditional roles, there's something wrong with them.
No.
What works. But I think everybody has to kind of recognize that your relationship is different and what works for one will not work for the other. So where do you want to begin?
Well, I kind of broke it down to 5 categories.
Okay.
It's leadership, responsibilities, parenting, employment, and the outside view.
Uh-huh.
So you can talk about leadership first.
Okay.
So we're both Christians.
Yes.
And by Christian standards, they always say the man is the head of the household, leader in the household, and I don't believe that we're against that. That's Christian values, and that's the way we operate. I think how we operate as man, as a leadership role is the key, because I think people take that verse of a man being leader and run with it incorrectly, and how leader, because a leader is not someone who's in control of everything. Number one. A leader is somebody who knows how to step back so someone else can control something else. A leader listens so that both people operate effectively.
Right.
A leader understands what the goal is. And I
Right.
think my belief is the goal of our marriage is for us to both be happy. The things we do to get to that point is one thing.
Yes.
But we all want to be happy individually. We both want to be happy individually and together.
Yes.
So everything to get to that point, we have to operate to make sure that that goal is there. Mm-hmm. Any goal that disrupts that, I think, will always mess up or create rifts in anything, because I have to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I make her happy and also make sure I'm happy and make sure we're happy together.
Right.
That I think.
Right. And this is not to say that happy is because the word happy is a little what's the word I want to say? The word happy is a little...
It's simplistic.
It's a little simplistic,
yeah,
but just I guess if I would say content, satisfied, that's more of how I kind of think that you're trying to use happy. But I agree. I think a lot of people believe that man is leader of the house, blah, 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 and that's it. For example, when I cut my locks off a couple years ago, the question that was asked to me as I was going to cut them off was, how does Mark feel? Huh? Mark wasn't even there. Ain't nobody think about Mark.
I did not grow not one strand of hair.
He sure didn't. He was not with me shooting in the gym.
I did not grow one strand of hair.
Yeah, he did not. He did not. He did not. So I just didn't understand why that was a vibe. But the person who asked me this is a Christian who I would say considers themselves to be very traditional. And so asking me that question really kind of made me think about how we look at the man as leader in relationships, especially in religious settings, and how that leadership is kind of synonymous with control of not just the not so visible parts of the relationship, but also like of the other human being.
Correct.
And human beings in the household that are part of their leadership structure or whatever the case may be.
Correct.
I definitely agree with you that leadership should be something where the leader is able to listen. And I also think an important part is that the leader also needs to be communicative.
Correct.
Because if you're not communicating to the rest of the team what's going on, you're a trash leader.
Yes.
And this is not just in marriage. This is just in any type of environment where you're expected to be a leader. Mm-hmm. As a leader, the expectation, how you going to lead anybody if they don't know what you're leading them to, what you're leading them from, what's the point of what you're leading them to or from? Like
clarity.
And I'm a asking questions type of individual. I'm not getting ready to follow nothing just because that's what we said. No. Let's backtrack. So what all is happening? What's the end goal? What's the point? What's happening? Like, that's how I feel. And so I think that, there's nothing wrong with the man being the head of the household and being the leader, but he also has to take on the responsibility of leading responsibly when it comes to communicating what's going on when there are changes in the plan, just being very open and transparent. And that's just, I don't know if that's just me and my own need to feel like I understand what's going on, because some people might be fine with just being like, yeah, whatever, he's gonna work it out. But I feel like for me, I have to know what's going on, and I need to be in the loop about decisions that are made and things that happen. Yes,
and even to that, you just have to both understand each other and how you're going to operate. How you operate, it is based off of your dynamic and personalities of each person.
Right.
We will not be able to give you any solution for your marriage based off of our marriage.
Right.
Because our marriage operates this way. What we can say is you have to operate based off of how you are.
Right.
For instance, like she said, she wants to ask questions. She wants to be clear about what's happening. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna get mad. She should just trust me. I should figure out why am I going through all that headache?
Right.
just clarify. Okay, we're doing this. Clarify what's going on.
Right.
Other than arguing every time.
Right. Because
about me not clearing it up, I'm just going to clarify.
Right.
When we do something so we can move forward.
Right.
And don't just get caught up in trying to win something.
Yeah.
There's nothing to win.
Yeah. That's facts.
There's absolutely nothing to win, and I think we get too caught up in trying to win the marriage, I guess.
Yeah. And it's let's not do that, because what you don't want is to be in a relationship with somebody who low-key resents you for how you're allegedly leading your family or whatever the case is. And the other thing I wanted to say too is that I think leading also requires that you be open to suggestion from other people in the group. Because, you're the leader, but you're one person. You don't know everything. You can't think of everything. So with the communication that we talked about, you're also opening it up for your partner to say, hey, did you think about this? What about this? What about that? And to me, I feel like if you're married to someone, I would like to believe that you're married to someone who you think is going to be an adequate helper and assistant, so to speak, to what you kind of want to do and see as your vision for your family. So if you're married to that person, you have expectation or believe that the person is capable of assisting you in leading, then why would you not include them? Correct. And if you marry somebody that you didn't think that was capable of assisting you in leading, why did you marry them? Correct. What is that? Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my feeling on things. And it doesn't mean that because that one person, or Mark is the head of the household because he's the man, that there isn't opportunity for leadership roles to switch from time to time. Because we're probably going to get to this a little later, but in the context of marriage roles, there are some things that one person may just be better at than the next person. So it doesn't mean that because he's the man, he does all of these things, even if he's not necessarily the most qualified in the marriage to do that thing. Yeah. So
like that actually goes into the next part. So after leadership, I said responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, people have sometimes put together in their mind what responsibilities each spouse should do. Who should handle money? Who should handle not parenting, but who should handle taking care of the kids? Who should handle cooking? And I believe that it should just be based off of the skill, timing, and availability of each person.
Agreed.
So if whoever is better at money should probably manage the money.
Right. That makes sense to me. If you're better at it, then why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you keep things secret or like I got to be like looking over your shoulder like, what we doing? Da, 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 da. But again, if you're better at it, then why risk it with me who's probably going to forget that a bill is due or spend some money and then be like, oh, snap, we were supposed to pay PSEG or something. Yeah. Like, why go through all that?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
For what? Why not just have the person who's better at managing that just do that?
Yeah.
Everybody's happier.
Yeah. If y'all can work together and do it, that's fine also.
Also that.
But don't get too caught up in who should manage the money. It should be based off of the qualifications. We go through this a lot. So, for instance, my wife, she works in Manhattan. Manhattan Island.
That's fine. We're going to do that.
Yes.
So Long Island of you.
So, she works in Manhattan. So, she takes a while to get back home. All right. So,
shouts out to the Long Island Railroad.
So, she usually gets off the train like around 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
I work about 15 minutes from my house. It does not make any sense for me to say, because my wife is the woman, she should cook every day the meals for dinner. It does not make sense.
It sure doesn't.
Because I am home first.
Yeah, that's correct.
So if I'm home first, I should probably cook to get things done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It makes sense because I'm like, I'm traveling an hour and a half, 2 hours on the subway and the Long Island Railroad to get home. And I'm like, so if I get there and you're like, oh, I thought you were going to cook. I'm like, well, I guess we getting takeout because I'm not starting no dinner at no 7:30. Like, no.
It just, whatever makes sense for your marriage is what you do. And I live closer to the daycare, so I'm the one that's dropping my daughter off.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's picking her up. It just makes sense that way.
Yeah.
That's just how it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think, if I worked on Long Island, then sure. I would probably do more of the drop-off, pick-up.
Or and just switch back and forth.
Yeah. But it's just the nature of how our lives are set up that it just does not make sense for me to be, I'm the person that leaves the house first to go to work. I gotta do a lot of traveling to get there. So it doesn't me dropping the baby off and picking her up. Like none of that is just on the table as logical. Like, and don't get me wrong, just because Mark is the person who primarily cooks, that doesn't mean that I don't assist in some way. Like maybe the night before, like if I know we're gonna make chicken or something, I'll season the chicken and put it in the fridge and let it marinate. So that when he gets home, he just has to put the chicken in the oven or in the wok or however he wants to cook the chicken. Or, I'll just do my best to try to help out in other ways to make the transition easier when he gets home to start cooking. But, it doesn't mean that because, he's the man that I just got to like rush home and cook him food and do all that. When he's sitting there for 2 hours, he could start something at least. Like I've come home sometimes and you've been in the middle of cooking and I'm like, oh, I'll like mash these potatoes or whatever.
Correct.
So I'll come in and help if you're not finished. But like, if I come home and you haven't started dinner, I assume it's because you plan to get takeout.
Yeah.
I'm like, they know. Oh, okay, so we're gonna. Okay, all right.
I see what's happening.
I see what's going on because it's impossible that somebody's starting dinner right now. That's crazy. So I just be assuming.
I see what's
happening here. Yeah, and like, I think too in terms of like responsibilities. I don't clean bathrooms. That's just not on my agenda. It's not on the list of things I do.
It's not how you're built.
It's just not how I'm set up. I just for some reason I can't get with it. Like. I'll wipe down a mirror or a sink top or whatever, but like all the toilet scrubbing, tub scrubbing, she's good. And by she, I mean me. She's good. So before we even got married, I had a very frank discussion with Mark about things that I'm just simply not going to do. That's one of the things I'm just not going to do. On the flip side, my husband hates washing dishes. Cannot stand it. Would probably rather stub his toe than wash a sink full of dishes. I enjoy washing dishes. It gives me life. I get to think. I get to listen to water running. It's a wonderful time. I'm usually in the kitchen by myself because, like I said, my husband doesn't like washing dishes. So it's a blast. It's some alone time for me. So that's how our home situation works. He cooks dinner. I wash the dishes. He cleans the bathroom. I do other things. I do the laundry.
Yeah, you do the laundry.
I do the laundry. Like, it's just, there are things that each one of us is just more interested in doing to contribute to the functioning of the household. And, you know, that's what works. Like, people always assume that I cook food. People are like, oh, what did you make your husband? Nothing. He made it. And people are like, what? Mark made it? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I've many times, anytime I bring cooked food to work, people like this, oh, your wife made this? I'm like, nah, son, I made it. I be cooking.
Chef Mark?
Don't make it.
No, come on. I got to promo you, babe. Come on.
Yeah.
But people always assume, like, whenever I bring lunch to work, most of the time it's lunch that Mark made. It's food that Mark made. Because the whole cooking thing, like, and I don't dislike cooking. I think I used to do it more, like, before when we were dating. Before we got married, I feel like I used to cook more often. But I don't know. It just now that my job is what it is and I got to do all this traveling, it just doesn't make sense. And, you know, occasionally on the weekends, if we cook, I'll cook. But, you know, I can count on one hand how many times I make food in a year because it don't be that often.
Yeah.
But occasionally I do chef it up a little bit. But, yeah, it's just like, you know, recognizing, like, going back to what you were talking about with bills. Mark is better at managing money than I am. I'm a work in progress. I'm doing better. But, like, I'm just a little, like, live it up. YOLO. Mark's like, hey, let's be responsible. Let's make sure we actually have money for this. So after some deliberation, it made sense for Mark to be the person that makes sure that we're not destitute. Yeah. Hey, let's not bring up the past. Let's move forward, focus on the future.
All I did was give an affirmation.
It's an affirmation.
I just affirmed.
Okay, you affirm. Okay, yeah.
That is
you
all
affirming now.
Just affirmed.
Okay, that's fine. So you an affirmer now. Okay, all right. So as Mark affirmed, he's better at managing the monies than I am. Thusly, it pains me personally because I'm just like, money stresses me out. But we have our meetings and we discuss, hey, so this is how much money we need to cover the bills and blah, 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 blah for the month. Here's where we are. Here's where we need to be. And he has his Excel spreadsheets on his laptop. He's about that life. That's him. Me, I'm more fly by night. I'm not irresponsible. I just think I'm just more fly by night. I'm not as like, you know, what's the word? As organized with that as he is. So that's the thing that he does. And, you know, I know there are some marriages where the woman does that and, you know, that's just what she's good at. For me, I'd rather just not. I think I'm more of the behind the scenes of our life, so to speak, in terms of like making sure that little things get done. Like, for example, like I'll lay out the baby's clothes the night before.
My memory's trash.
Yeah, Mark remembers nothing, unfortunately.
My memory is terrible.
Like my baby will go to daycare with no shoes or missing an undershirt or something.
That has never happened. Do not make me seem like
I don't trust you.
They're gonna call CPS on me. That is not.
Nobody's
happen.
saying that. I'm just saying, like you just
happen.
Here's the thing. In the morning, there's a lot of activity getting 3 human beings dressed and out of the house. So there's just some things that I know how you are. And this is, again, about knowing your partner, recognizing opportunities for leadership. I recognize that you may not always think of all the little things that Miss Maria may say, oh, I need this, I need that. So I just try to like set those things up the night before. So I'll lay her outfit out. I'll make sure that, you know, if the daycare needs wipes or diapers or whatever the case is, that's ready to go so that like you can just pick it up and go. Like I'll try to lay out the baby's food for the daycare the night before so she can like go on about her business and you don't have to worry about packing any of that up. Like, you know, I'll try to like wash the dishes at night just to make sure we have a clean sink. And so like if you got to go in there and cook and prep food, you don't have to worry about clearing out no dishes. Like I just do a lot of those like little behind the scenes types of things to kind of make sure our family runs. And that's sort of my way of like leading, so to speak, because like I said, you're only one person. You can't think of everything and you can't do the front end and the back end work too. Like that's just a lot. Mm-hmm. So I try to like just slide in the little pockets wherever I can and try to like help out it and make things a little easier.
Word.
What's our next?
All right, the next thing says parenting. I know we briefly spoke about that in terms of who picks up who and everything and
Yeah.
things like that. Just a FYI, you cannot babysit your own child. If one more person asks me if I am babysitting my daughter, we're going to fight. You cannot babysit your own child. I am just being a parent.
Right.
That is all I am doing.
Right. And yeah, I think people think like because I'm the mother, like I'm just supposed to like have my baby like on my hip 24/7. I'm like, she got a whole daddy. Like she can go with him. He's her whole daddy. She looks like him, as a matter of fact. So like I don't understand. Like if I go somewhere and like my daughter's not with me, where's the baby? I have a husband. Like you know him. Like I'm confused. I don't understand. Like people are confused by the fact that I roll without my baby from time to time, and I'm just like, but she don't need to come to this. Like I'm not a single mother. I can leave her with her dad. Like, and he's not babysitting her. He's taking care of her as a parent should.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to mention, before my daughter was born, I wanted to make sure that my daughter and my wife had a strong relationship, right? Because people always say like daddy's girl and stuff like that, and my vision has always been like when things like that, when words are said that, why is that being said? Mm-hmm. And because like a lot of times fathers tend to be more, I guess, softer on their daughters and let their daughters do a lot more, and because they're letting their daughters do a lot more, the mother has to step in as a disciplinarian to make sure things get done, and it goes all the way around.
Right.
When you have a son, mothers tend to cater more to the son, and the father in return steps in as a disciplinarian to balance it out.
Right.
I kind of wanted to make sure that my wife and their daughter had a strong relationship as long as with me.
Right.
So like I have to make sure to make my priority to step back to let them have their time.
Yes.
And like
because people used to joke when Mark is obsessed with our daughter, by the way,
because she's awesome.
He's obsessed, and I think like when I first brought her home, like when we I'm saying I was by myself.
You and
you were with me shooting in the gym.
I was right there.
You were right there shooting with me in the gym. Best coach ever. But when we brought her home, and I was tired, but like I wanted to do stuff because I was like, I've never had a baby before. Like I don't know how to do, breastfeeding and diaper change. Like it's a lot of stuff. It's a crash course. Nobody teaches you anything. Like you just gotta like wing it. And so I wanted to do stuff, and Mark was like, no, I'll do it. And in my mind, I was like, I'm a jerk if I complain about this because I'm sure people are like, I just wish my husband would change one diaper or maybe feed this baby one time so I could go to sleep. And I'm over here like, no, get away from my baby. I want to do it. No. But then like I had to recognize like this, like he recognizes that I'm tired. Because at that point, I don't think I had slept really in days. No. And like not no real sleep. And so him recognizing that it was important for him to step up and do stuff, which is not typically what people expect a father to quote unquote do, so to speak. That was really, really awesome. And I think, it's something that we really don't address and talk about as much as we should, but there's nothing wrong with a father like stepping in and taking care of his child and being that person and being involved. And I think to what you said about us you making sure that me and Avery had our own like good relationship. I think, even though you guys have your own thing, I think me and her have our own thing too. And I don't think there's ever been a point where I was like, she definitely favors one of us more than the other. I think that we're both equal in terms of like being loving and playful and blah, 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 but also being like, hey, Avery, cut it out. Stop the shenanigans.
Yeah. And I think I was trying to make sure that was there.
Yeah. And I think he succeeded. Yeah. I think he succeeded. Because I think she feels loved and supported and all the things that we want her to feel. But she also knows that...
Like both sides were like, stop the nonsense.
Yeah, cut it out, kid. Like we're not going to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Except, of course, when she's with the grandparents because they let her do whatever she wants, which is quite frustrating.
It's a thrill.
Which is quite frustrating.
It's a thrill. parents can relate. You be leaving your baby over there. You be like, oh, this baby going to be asleep by the time I get back. It'd be 11 o'clock. Baby's looking at you. You looking at them. You're like, why? Why is the baby looking at me?
Why are they up eating crackers? Why are they up at 11 o'clock eating crackers?
With nan pajama on. It's like, okay.
Let's have that conversation.
Okay. So I see what type of night this about to be. All right. That's fine. It ain't no problem, guys. It ain't no problem. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the joy of being grandparents. Because, you know, if we're lucky enough to become grandparents one day, we probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, what are you going to do? What else did you have on the docket, sir?
Next, employment.
Employment. Tell me more about that. Talk about that.
So, I remember having a conversation with somebody during a class I was in. And so the question was if, well, that wasn't a question. I made a statement. I was saying, because my wife right now makes more money than me. That's what happens because she gets the bag. So
secure the bag.
Like, we got to debate again how that plays out after all these businesses that I'm in.
I mean, you might high-key make more money now.
After it factors in, we'll see how that goes. But just on paper.
Yes, according to the government.
In terms of just like salary in our 9-to-5 business, outside of the outside businesses, you make more than me.
See.
So like someone was, I was telling them, I was like, if we had an issue where daycare was too expensive and it made more sense for someone to stay home, it makes more sense for me to stay home than my wife because she makes more money than me. And like their brain was like, I don't know what's happening. That doesn't make any sense. But like logically, it doesn't make sense for the person who makes more money to stay home.
Sure
doesn't. Makes 0
zero
sense. Just so I can say I'm the man who provides for my family.
I am man, hear me roar.
Especially now that I have my own business, it makes more sense because I can still do my business. I can Uber Eats with a baby in the car. I could do
Facts.
that. So like, I think it's interesting that like that the concept of a guy staying home and taking care of the kids while the mother works has it tends to confuse people, like just the concept of it.
Facts. It does confuse people, and I think I'm just like, but why? Like, if these are not real numbers, I'm just using hypotheticals here. If I'm making $100,000 and Mark is making $60,000, how it makes sense for him to be the one that stay at work? We losing a whole 40 G's for me to stay home. Why? Because I'm the woman? I'm like, he can take care of this child just as well as I can. Like, I don't see what the issue is, but it like shorts people's brains out when to hear a man say, "Oh, I'm going to be the person that stays home." And there's several people who are stay-at-home dads because it just makes more sense. And I think that kind of goes back to this idea of the man as a leader. For some reason, we connect leader with employment and going out there and working. And it's like that man can be a leader by making sure that his child is not in daycare that's too expensive for his family to afford, and that he's spending time with this family. That's him leading. That makes sense. It's like, okay, this financially makes more sense for you to go to work, wife, while I stay at home. Let me lead by making sure the house is kept up, that the babies are okay, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, for some reason, we haven't brought our minds around, a lot of us, to like that being a form of leadership. And so that's why when you say something like that, people's brains just like explode. They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
The man goes out and gets the bacon.
Yeah, like, it's like, think about it as a leader, as a supervisor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a supervisor, and you have a team of 5 people. And like, if the supervisor stays strong to what they feel like they should be doing, they'll work 9 to 5 every time, while other things, anything else that happens, they're going to make sure that someone else is there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say something happens with one person, they can't work the hours they had. Like, they usually work to close the store out, but they can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As a leader,
mm-hmm.
it might make more sense for them to do the 9 to 5,
mm-hmm.
and I do work a little bit later, like 1 or 2 days or something. Like, just basically to change around what's going on for the same goal.
Right.
Basically, it makes more sense to figure out, to fulfill each role
mm-hmm.
to the best of each person's ability
mm-hmm.
to make sure the goal is there.
Right.
Being a leader does not mean saying I'm the leader as much as knowing how to look at the situation and play accordingly.
Right. Yeah. And I think when we think about leadership in terms of like a household and a marriage, like the same way we're looking at the man to be quote unquote the leader, when we're thinking about our stereotypical ideas of how we feel about what women should take care of in the household, we're looking at the woman to be the leader, quote unquote, of the household. So why can't the role switch where the woman is the leader in terms of like financing or whatever, and the man's the leader in terms of like the household? Like why does it have to be, and why can't it just be like a meeting in the middle of both things? Like why does it have to be man is this, woman is that, and there's no sort of room for gray to exist? Because like life isn't that black and white. Like, you know, there might be moments in time where I'm working and you're not working. There might be moments in time where you're working and I'm not working, and we just kind of have to adjust how our structure works based on that setup. Because who knows, knock on wood, I could get fired from my job tomorrow. I really can't, but I could. Unions, yes. But if that's the case, like, we got to adjust what we do now. Yeah. Like, you know.
Things got to operate differently.
And I think that's the thing that people need to think of in terms of marriage roles overall, is that nothing's going to be the same the entire time that you're married. Like, our marriage is, and how we operate has shifted significantly from when we first got married to now. And, you know, a number of things have required that shift, like in terms of working, you having extra stuff going on, me commuting to the city, us having a baby. Like, there's a lot of things that have contributed to the way the dynamic of our marriage has changed. And I think that you have to be open to that. Like, you can't get married and think this is a dynamic and it's going to be the dynamic forever, because it's just not. As you change as individuals and as your marriage changes and the circumstances of your situation change, you have to adapt to it. So who knows? There might come a time where you might have to wash dishes and I might have to clean a bathroom, at which point I'm calling a cleaning service, because I'm not doing that.
That's right.
I'm just being honest. I don't. Maybe Avery will be old enough and she can clean it. I don't know. But because I'm really not trying to do that. I'm very averse to bathroom cleaning. So yeah, that's kind of what my feeling is on the matter. It's just like, you just got to be flexible. You can't be like married to the idea, that your marriage has to be set up in a certain way. See what I did there? You see it.
All right, moving on. Yeah. So the last section of this marriage role thing is the outside view.
Okay.
So meaning a big concern that people have, even if they have a certain dynamic, is worrying about the outside view of your marriage, or letting what people say dictate how you operate in your marriage. Of people saying like, "Oh, why is Kristen talking so much?"
Because she can. That's why.
Simmer down.
No, I didn't say nothing. I just said because she can. That's why.
Just simmer down. Simmer down.
Okay. I thought I could answer the question, but apparently I got to relax. Okay. Ain't no problem.
All right. No one's here to fight.
I didn't fight anybody. I just said because I can.
But like, I think people coming in, when they have a certain view of how a marriage should be, because people have come to me, people have come to Kristen, and have said certain things, and like, number one, it's offensive. Number one,
facts.
But like, in their mind, we're going against what they think should happen. So we're messing with their mindset of it. So they're like, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Like, I remember even during the wedding, when I was trying to like see what's going on, trying to work out, trying to give ideas. People like this, why are you so involved? You don't got to be all involved. I was like, but it's for me also. I want to be in there too. Right. I want to know what's going on. I want to know where my money's going.
Also that.
And like, I can't let like stuff like that get discouraged, because people like this, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Men don't do that. I'm like, I don't have time.
Right.
Like, you have to be less worrying about how other people view your manhood.
Right. Yes.
Than you.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever spent a lot of time really thinking about how people think about our marriage, because I just be busy in my mind. I can't be thinking about what other people think. I do. I have things to do, and I just like, I always get confused when I hear people's opinions. I'm like, I've never thought about what you thought ever in like a million years. Never gave it any thought. But I do think that it's interesting that for all of our coolness or whatever the case may be, the fact that people have these very particular opinions about how they think people should be in a marriage and how that should look to people outside. I'm like, first of all, why is that something that you're bothered by? Why are you worried about how we operating over here, number one? Number two, don't you think he knows who he married? I mean, he signed up. It wasn't like we, dated for a week and then was like, let's get married. Like, we dated for what, 3 years before we even got engaged?
No younger, we might as well do it. Yeah. No, I can't do this thing. Okay, it's cool. Nah, it's cool. Nah, go ahead. I was just,
This is why I can't. This is why I cannot. But yeah, I just don't get why people feel so strongly about how they think another person's marriage should look. And not to be like funny or anything, but it's like when you have that many opinions, it's just like, what is it that you're not focusing on in your own life that requires you to be this focused about what my marriage looks like to you? We good over here. Mm-hmm. We good. What we got going on works for us. It doesn't have to work for you. It doesn't even have to make sense for you because it's not about you. Because you know who was down to the premarital counseling sessions when we did them? Mark, Kristen, Reverend Damon. That was it.
Yeah.
With nobody else there. So
he wasn't with the shooting in the gym.
Sure wasn't. Thusly, I think that you have to, as a married couple, sort of have a you against the world sort of bond with each other, because it's very easy to have other people's opinions, your friends, your family, whatever, other people's opinions just in general sort of like infiltrate your thought process and how you feel like things should work. So then now you're in your relationship with your partner and you're kind of like, well, maybe it should look like this and maybe it should look like that. And it's like, no. It should look like what you guys are and what you guys want it to look like. It shouldn't look like what other people think it should be. So yeah, there might be people who think I talk too much or I'm too abrasive or I'm too this and I should just be quiet and let Mark talk. That's fine.
Fight them.
Fight.
Don't fight them.
Don't tell me that.
Don't fight them.
Don't tell me that, because I already told you it's literally like either I'm here and I'm cool or we fighting. There's no real in between with me. I don't have time. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm too old, but I just don't have time. I'm not set up for it. So yeah, I think that people just need to just worry about themselves. Just worry about yourself. If in your marriage it's cool for you to just kind of be docile and let your husband just be that guy.
I have no idea why that voice is important. Why that voice? Why
are you interrupting my scenario right now?
I just don't know why the voice.
Because that's what I'm using.
Okay. Continue.
No. The character's broken now. It's over. It's canceled. It's done. Because that's what I think docile sounds like, okay? I'm just trying to reenact what I think. Okay, all right. You got to drag it. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, I just feel like, look, if what works for you is what works for you. You know who you married at the end of the day. I know that I married someone that knew what it was from the jump and knew that I was an opinionated, outspoken individual who would always speak my mind no matter what. And this is not to say that, you should go out there and be embarrassing to your partner on any level and just be out here in these streets wilding. I would never go out of myself in such a way that would bring shame or embarrassment to my husband intentionally, because I look at it as that's my family and I don't want to besmirch my family's name or whatever the case may be. And I enjoy the word besmirch.
You do.
Don't hate.
You do.
But at the same time, I'm like, I don't feel like I should have to censor myself as the woman in the relationship to appease people's idea of how they think a wife should act. Because nobody thinks to themselves, oh, her husband be wildin', he should calm down. No one says that ever. It's just like, oh, that's just how he is. Like, nah, he wildin'. We can say that. That's fair. He should probably pump the brakes and relax. But that's never the energy that's given to men's behavior. It's always couched in what women do. And I'm just like, all right, that's enough. Mark knows what he signed up for with me. There are no surprises here. Just what we got going on works for us. Just let us work with that. How about that?
Yeah. Y'all be all right. You just do you. I'ma do me.
I'ma do me. I'ma do me. You just do you.
I'ma do me. I'ma do me. I'ma do me.
Wise words. Wise words. Wise words. Who's that by again?
I'm pretty sure it's T.I.
I'm gonna have to Google that because I don't know.
It might not be T.I., but it sounds like a T.I. song in my mind.
Is it Mims?
Not Mims.
No, like legit. I'm like imagining the video in my mind right now, and I'm like, yo, who is that?
It might not be. It just sounds like it would be T.I., but I'm pretty sure it's not him.
Let's look it up because we're about to find out. We are about to find out. We are on the Googles, guys. All right. Let me just look here. Who does it say? Rocco. I knew it was one of them randoms from the early 07s.
One of those one hit people?
Right. I knew it was one of them people. I remember the video and I was just like, who is this? Like, yeah. I said Mims. Shout out to Westbury, I guess. But yes, Rocco.
That's fine.
From Atlanta, Georgia. Is the songwriter to You Just Do You, I'ma Do Me from 2008. I didn't realize that song was that young.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was more early 2000s. But anyway, it's a word to the wise. You just do you, I'ma do me. Yeah. So that was our little chit chat about marriage roles. I hope you guys got something interesting and insightful from it. And if you have questions or want to comment, feel free. We got emails and social medias and things like that.
Word. What else do we have on the docket?
What else is on the docket? So, as I said before, I really enjoy music. I sing and I listen to just about every type of music, with the exception of like country and rock and roll. Like, I'm not into all of that. However, Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus slaps.
Get into that song.
Slaps. I got the horses in the bed. Hey. Slaps. Y'all don't understand. I have never gone up for a country song like this, but my God, if it don't slap, okay, get into it. Yeah. So I enjoy different types of music. Like my husband and I like going to concerts. So like the most recent ones we saw were J. Cole. We saw Jay-Z. We saw Beyonce and Jay-Z like 2 years ago. Who else have we seen?
Let us see.
We've seen a bunch of people. We've gone to several concerts. We enjoy the music.
Jadena.
Oh, Jadena. Oh, yes.
Jadena's concert was good.
Long live the chief.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to finagle. I think I even like email Epic like, yo, can you play your song on my podcast? Because your album slaps.
It slaps. The whole album. Get into it.
Can I get into the album?
Get into it. I'm waiting for the next one, Jadena. Come through. But yes.
And we went to the Molly Music concert like a week after we got married.
Yeah, and that was an amazing concert. I don't know what Molly Music is doing now, but I need to put some things out so the girls can come out and support. Yeah. But yeah, so we're really into different types of music, and my former pastor actually put me on to Anderson .Paak, who is from the California, Los Angeles, that area. And he drums and sings at the same time, which if you don't play an instrument or sing, seems like not a big deal.
Nah.
Kind of is hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm confused by how he does it.
Word.
But he does it, and he's amazing at it. So, what was it, late last year or early this year? I don't remember.
It was last year.
Yeah. So his albums are named after parts of California because, like I said, he's from California. So he has an album out called Venice, part of California. Has an album out called Malibu, whole vibe. Then he put one out called Oxnard. And if you've listened to Malibu and Venice extensively, you're like, oh, I see what type of vibe we're on here. This Oxnard is about to be vibey. It wasn't. It was the opposite of vibey, in fact. I love Anderson .Paak's music. Like, literally, if he's on a feature for somebody or something, I get hyped. Like, I live for Anderson .Paak's music. Like, I just like what he does. It's just like sort of like alternative R&B, soul, hip hop rolled into one. Like, and it's really, really musical, and I just love what he does. But my God, that Oxnard was the drag of all drags. It's kind of how I felt about this last Solange album. Girl, what is this? Why you put this out? Who did this? Why you did this?
And this is what I realized, and I told you about it before. I think both Oxnard and
whatever Solange called that thing.
Solange's album.
Things I imagine things I saw. I don't know what it is.
Stop it. I
deleted it off my title, so I don't know what it's called.
This is time for a new drop.
Yeah. monsters.
Starting on a good foot. New drop. So
I said what I said.
So like I think that both are. I think the vibe or like what people are on mindset wise plays into the kind of music that they can listen to. Mm-hmm. Right. I think everybody nowadays within like the last year or two has been on a grind. That has been the mantra of hip hop and the mantra of a lot of people that I know. Their mantra is on the grind. Mm-hmm. So music that they want to listen to is something that they can work to, whether it's working out, whether it's getting things done, whether it's doing like something to work to. Oxnard and
I saw things I imagined. I imagined things I saw.
You want to look it up?
No.
Okay.
I deleted it, and I don't want it back in my face.
Those two albums, I think, were too relaxed. We don't smoke weed.
We sure don't. It's not the vibe we're on.
We're not just big. We're not like chilling on a Saturday afternoon, just chilling. We always got stuff to do. So music we want to listen to is stuff that can get things done. We need drums.
Like we need energy. We need, we need
stuff.
So, and Anderson .Paak is a drummer.
Yeah.
So when I saw Oxnard, I was like, I'm about to get my life. And then I didn't. And it's one of those things where it was like, I listened to it a couple of times and was like, are my expectations too high? Because Malibu came out like 2016 and I was still bumping Malibu like last year like it was new. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, and I got excited when he did his Tiny Desk NPR. Check that out if you don't know what that is. T-Pain has a wonderful Tiny Desk NPR. So does her. But anyway, so I was like, I gave this Anderson .Paak like a good 3 listens before I finally had to be like, I don't think this is a good album. And it was hard for me to admit that. I feel bad saying it now. I mean it, but I feel bad saying it because I think he's a really, really talented artist and he's just amazing. But I'm like, is this a contractual obligation album? Because I didn't need it. I didn't have to have that. And you know how I know he knows it's trash? Because where was the promo from him on that Oxnard album? Non-existent. I didn't see Anderson say nothing about that album. But now Anderson has a tour coming up with the Free Nationals, and he's coming to Madison Square Garden in May, and I'm seeing all types of promo for that. Bet money he not performing no songs from Oxnard. Not a one.
He'll perform some, because it's like...
I don't think he should, because they're all forgettable. But couldn't remember one if I tried.
FYI, the album's called When I Get Home.
Okay. I looked it up. It's still called It's Things I Imagined, Things I Didn't See, or whatever it is that
what I don't have
about.
Time for. Things I Imagine.
Is that not the song? Is that not the whole
Are we
thing?
still going?
I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wildin'. That's fine. Okay.
But we only have these opinions because their last albums were fantastic.
Right.
So it's not like we don't like the person. The person is awesome.
Right, like Solange out here, like high key reignited like Black Planet. I was like, yes, Black Planet, come through. Give me the album. And then I listened to that album on the way to work and was like, now, sis.
Yeah.
What is this?
Like criticizing it, knowing that like we've seen great things.
Right, like I know that you are better than this that you're giving me. Yeah. So I'm like, because legit, like, Things I Imagine was like 100%. Like, it was like 19 songs of like a minute long snippets of her repeating things. And I was just like, huh?
But like,
sis, you gave me Cranes in the Sky. You gave me For Us, By Us. You gave me bops on your first, well, not the first, but the other, A Seat at the Table. You gave me bops. You gave me like whole songs. Then you come back to me with these snippets. I saw things I imagined. What? Get off of my
only thing
streaming service, Solange. Get off.
But this is the reason. Like, this is why I said like it's nothing against them as much.
Right. I still think she's popping. I still think she rocks.
Yeah.
But
which plays into Anderson .Paak released an album this past Friday called Ventura.
A mere few months after you put out Oxnard, and we was all like, "This ain't it, sis."
So like he released Ventura, and because we still understand their talent, we still went to listen to it. We didn't like give up on them. We were like,
right, we didn't throw them in the garbage.
Yeah. So in Ventura, and I have this mindset that the first track sets the tone for the whole album.
Agreed.
So if your first track slaps, I'm like, all right, I see where you're going. I see what's about to happen.
And the first track on Ventura slaps.
Andre 3000 comes in.
And you know he be doing a feature like once every 3 years.
And I just let's have a conversation about his flow. Like, I heard it. Someone else said this, and it's true. No one expected that kind of flow on this song, and he killed it. Because he kills it at all times. He kills features. That is what he does.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. So I'm just going back to look at Oxnard real quick.
We still going to go?
Right, because here's the thing.
Keep going.
Here's the thing. Because the features on this should have made this a better album. He had Kendrick Lamar. He had J. Cole. He had Q-Tip. He had BJ the Chicago Kid. He had Pusha T, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, like all of this, and it was still.
I think I don't understand. I think
mediocre.
The Pusha T song was actually good. I remember that song.
Yeah, I like that one, and I think I like the.
That's what I said. He'll do certain songs.
The one with Kendrick Lamar,
like the features are kind of fly.
For Ventura?
No, for Oxnard.
For Oxnard, yeah.
Like when you see Kendrick, Dre, Pusha, Snoop, J. Cole, Q-Tip.
Like, I went into that album like, I'm about to get my life, my
BJ Chicago Kid is fly too. Like, when you see those people, you're like, all right.
Like, I went in there about to get my life, and then it was like,
about to happen.
And then it was like my life was not received, actually. It was the opposite. Imagine my disappointment. Ventura, it seems to be a vibe. I haven't listened to the whole thing through yet, but what I've heard so far, I'm liking. I'm going to give the rest of it a listen this weekend before it's over. And but like I'm feeling like this is more the Anderson .Paak that I've grown to know and love. And you know, I'm excited about what he's got going on here. So just, hey, artists, don't be, at least make the contractually obligated album like slightly listenable, because Jesus, I'm not able with the stuff that y'all be putting out. You know, people might be mad about this, but I said what I said. I meant it. It wasn't good, and you know, I think that's fair. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on Anderson?
Nah, just
okay.
I like this album.
Yeah.
And this album right here has less, like the features don't sound as fly, but they're good. Like, but Brandy's good.
Oh,
like,
Brandy's a vibe.
Jasmine Sullivan. I
Yes, I love Jasmine Sullivan. She sings down.
Yeah, she's on there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Andre 3000.
Andre 3 Stacks. Keep your heart, 3 Stacks. Keep your heart.
Layla Hathaway.
Layla Hathaway also sings down. Yeah. That lady sings chords.
Yeah.
Like, I'm confused. Like, how do you even make your voice do that?
Like that. I need to keep listening to that one.
Yeah, like, it's just, life-giving.
Singing 3 chords at one time. We need to figure
out.
I'm
like, how, Sway? How you do it? How?
Word.
How?
All right.
Yeah. I noticed this year it's been really slow with new music coming out. I felt like 2017 and 2018, like there was albums out every 30 seconds.
It was way too many songs.
Yeah,
it was so many songs. Like that's why, like this time, people were like, hey, where the albums at? But reality, we were just spoiled for 2 years straight.
Yeah, because everybody was
every week was something.
Yeah, every week it was like I couldn't like I felt there was a point where I wasn't even listening to music enough because it was just like I can't keep up with what everybody's doing.
I'm sure I missed a few songs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Same, for sure. So yeah, that was basically our music spotlight. We didn't like introduce it, but that's our music spotlight. That's going to be something we do every week where we kind of like highlight an artist or music that we're into and, you know, kind of give our critiques on it or whatever. And we're going to move on to our final segment, which is called, at the moment, This Week in Random. So I spend a lot of time on the internets, social medias, Instagrams, and so on. And so I was scrolling yesterday, you know, just minding my business like I always do. And I saw a picture of plantains, or what the good girls from the Latino countries know as plátanos. Looked well cooked and so on. Yellow plátanos, to be specific. Sweet plantains. And I was perplexed a little bit because as I perused the picture, I saw berries, like raspberries and blueberries and things of that nature in the container that the plantains were in. And I said to myself, I've been alive for 33 years, and I've been black and Bayesian for all 33 of those years. And I've consumed several plantains over the course of these 33 years, yet never have I ever seen a berry in the plantains. Thus, I was confused and was trying to figure out why they were in there. But, you know, after some investigation, I discovered that it was not us that had did that. Surprise, surprise. And I just want to publicly share Stop adding things to things that don't need to be added. Plantains are plantains by themselves. They're a vibe by themselves. They can be a whole side by themselves. High key, plantains can be a whole meal by themselves. You don't even need to eat nothing else. You can just have plantains. That's it. The only time that I think it is acceptable to add something to plantain is when you are doing lasagna, for example. Don Coqui in Astoria, they have a dish there. I don't remember what it is, but it's basically a lasagna with pasta meat, and they have like slices of sweet plantain cut up inside of the lasagna. Bellissima. So good. I'm even willing to let you do the jibarito. For my people who don't know what a jibarito is, it's basically like plantain, usually green plantain, smashed into patties, and then you put like meat inside of it. Usually it's like, it can be chicken, it can be beef, whatever the case is. Other than that, leave the plantains alone. The plantains don't need to be connected with no berries, baby. Leave them alone. Y'all got to stop all this experimentation. And maybe it's just because I'm boring and I like to eat my foods and keep them a certain way. But all this experimentation, we got to stop. We just got to stop. It's just leave the plantains alone. Plantains ain't did nothing to nobody. Leave them alone. If I see it in front of me in any place publicly, I'm knocking all of it over. All of it. I will throw all your plantains on the floor because they do not need. Why is a strawberry on a plantain? Why is it for what? Why? Not necessary. Stop trying to jazz things up. The plantains work by themselves. Thank you. My other This Week in Random. So I don't know if you saw this video, but Maxine Waters was conducting a session with a young man, well, a gentleman, and old dude was trying to get slick, and basically she hit him with you can leave whenever you want. It ain't no problem. You could go. But what you're not going to do is tell me how to run this session. And he just kept sitting there like, it was hilarious to me because it was like, I understood why he was confused. Because have you ever had your mom or like a black female authority figure tell you, you can go, but like it don't really mean that you can go? So you confused like, well, can I go?
Can I go?
Can I go? Like what? I'm confused. So if I go, like what's the problem? And so I felt like he was like struggling with the decision. He was like, does she mean I can go or like what does she mean? And so I just thought it was a funny thing to see. I'm like,
that exchange was hilarious. I played that exchange
several times.
So many times.
Got me a good key too. A good key. All in all, I'm just like, y'all know how Maxine rolled. The tape is out there.
She has zero time.
Don't come to Maxine's chambers with the shenanigans. She don't have time.
I think the funniest thing
Leave her alone.
Was like, he was saying, if you like to go, you can go. And then he was like, well, if you're going to make me stay here, then I'll cancel my meeting, and then I'll just stay here if you're just going to make me stay here.
And she was like, who said that?
No, she didn't say that. She was like, let's go and note that he suggested that he will stay here. So can we keep going, please?
Right,
and he was like, wait. He was like, what? What's the problem? She was like, so you're forcing me to stay? And she was like, nah. You gave me an option. And my option.
I took you up on your offer. You said you can cancel. I said cool.
I said great. Let's keep going.
Right. Like that's what you said, sir. I didn't say. She said, let the record reflect. I have instructed Mr. Mnuchin that he can leave whenever he would like. Because that is what she said. She said you can go.
You can go.
Like, I don't know why he kept, well, I guess I'll have to cancel my very important meeting. Like, did he think she was like, oh, no, don't cancel your meeting. She was like, you could go. I already told you. You could go. So it was just the funniest exchange I've ever seen in my life. Deceased. Like, I just couldn't take it. I'm like, y'all gonna stop playing with Maxine. Maxine don't have time. She don't have time. She's coming for your necks. You're not gonna play with her. Leave that. Just stop fooling with that lady.
Yeah.
She don't have time. She don't have it. It's unavailable. She don't have time.
Yeah, and people don't know how to deal with like.
Okay. Yeah, people don't know how to deal with like older black women just don't be with the shenanigans. Just leave them all the way alone. They don't have time. Moving on from that, final topic in the spirit of black excellence and black women being awesome. Little came out this weekend. Marseille Martin, 14-year-old from Blackish, youngest executive producer of a movie ever. Herself, Issa Rae, and some other wonderful black actresses were a part of this movie, and it actually debuted at number 2 this weekend, making $15.5 million. And I saw on
an applause.
Yes, let's get an applause for them. We'll get an applause button, but right now we'll do it by hand. That's amazing. $15.5 million for a movie starring a bunch of black women and a movie movie, that
executive produced
by a 14-year-old girl is magnificent.
It's fantastic.
I saw on Instagram, what's her name? Issa Rae challenged Yvonne Orji, who plays Molly on Insecure, and Lovey Ajayi, who's like another writer / podcaster / media personality. Because they all part of like the crew of like cool Africans in Hollywood, and so they challenged each other to buy out.
A lot of them went to the same school.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and they challenged each other to buy out like a theater to see the movie, which I thought was great for supporting Black women and supporting Black art. And so I just wanted to shout that out. We haven't seen Little yet, but it's on the agenda to see because I love Marseille Martin. She's thebomb.com. Blackish is great. Check her out if you don't know who she is. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So kudos to all these wonderful accomplishments by these ladies, and I look forward to seeing how much money this movie is going to continue to make, because I think they said the movie cost $20 million to make. So if they keep up with this trend, they'll definitely do more than break even and make a profit, which I think will set a great precedent for other people of color to go forward and have movies about them, by them, for them, made and really supported in the way that they need to be supported.
Word.
So that was it for the All Love No Fear podcast this week. I hope you enjoyed listening to us. If you want to check us out on social media, we are on Instagram, All Love No Fear Podcast. We're on Twitter, All Love No Fear Podcast. Just search that there. We also have a Facebook page, All Love No Fear Podcast. And then our email, alllovenofearpcast@gmail.com. We thank you so much for listening.
And I'm not sure which one you're listening this podcast on, but just so you know, you can listen to this on our website, alllovenofearpcast.com, on Spotify, All Love No Fear Podcast, on SoundCloud, All Love No Fear Podcast, on Apple Podcast, on Google Play Podcast. We're on all of these things.
Yes. Did you say SoundCloud?
Yes.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for coming. We bid you
adieu.